Hello BookTube, welcome back. Today I'll be doing my first book haul of 2023, although technically these books were all purchased at the end of 2022. I never quite got around to filming the video, so we're just going to call it the first book haul of this year. Anyway, at the end of the last year, I was reading Powers of Darkness by Vladimir Osmundsson. This is an Icelandic retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Rather loose retelling since, as it was discovered after it was translated back into English, it wasn't quite the same story that we came to know of as Dracula. Whether that was an earlier draft of Stoker's that was presented to him for translation, or the translator kind of wrote his own book, it's kind of debated, but that kind of put me in the mood for other vampire books, or specifically Dracula. And I came across a couple used books here. In fact, all of these are used books that I'm about to show you. The first one is by Bram Stoker. It's Draculas Guests and Other Tales of Horror. This is a Fall River Press edition and hardcover. And it's a collection of some 20 short stories by Bram Stoker. And I'm looking forward to kind of trying out something else of his besides Dracula. But of course it seems to have all that kind of a horror theme to it. I really love this cover. It's nice and creepy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into that. And then I picked up two, this one, they're both by Dracula Stoker, who's the great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker. And this is Dracula The Undead, the sequel to the original classic. That sounds kind of interesting. It's described as, in the back, London, 1912. A quarter of a century after Count Dracula apparently crumbled into dust, Quincy Harker, son of Jonathan and Mina Harker, leaves law school to pursue a career on the stage, only to stumble upon the troubled production of Dracula, directed and produced by Bram Stoker himself. As the play plunges Quincy into the world of his parents' terrible secrets, death begins to stalk the original band of heroes who defeated Dracula a quarter century ago. Could it be that the Count survived and is now seeking revenge? Or is there another, far more sinister force at work whose relentless purpose is to destroy anything and anyone associated with Dracula, the most notorious vampire of all time? It's described as the true sequel to Bram Stoker's classic novel, co-written by his direct descendant and a well-known Dracula historian. Dracula the Undead provides answers to all the questions that the original novel left unexplained, as well as new insights into the world of iniquity and fear lurking just beneath the surface of polite Victorian England. So that sounds really good. I'm debating about whether I want to reread Dracula then before this one. Most likely that'll be the case, so it'll be a while before I get to that, probably. And then the other one is also by Dracula Stoker, but also J.D. Barker, and this is Dracula. I bought this. This is a like a remainder copy that I got at a used bookstore just right after I bought this. We got in the paperback versions, which I would have preferred the paperback just because I didn't feel like lugging around a hardcover. But I'd already committed to this one, so I'm kind of stuck with this. But I'll read the inside for you. I wish I had a bit more light here. It is 1868, and a 21-year-old Bram Stoker waits in a desolate tower to face an indescribable evil. Armed only with crucifixes, holy water, and a rifle, he prays to survive a single night, the longest of his life. Desperate to record what he has written, or what he has witnessed, Bram scribbles down the events that led him here. A sickly child, Bram spent his early days bedridden in his parents' Dublin home, tended to by his caretaker, a young woman named Ellen Groan. When a string of strange deaths occur in a nearby town, Bram and his sister Matilda detect a pattern of bizarre behavior by Ellen, a mystery that deepens chillingly until Ellen vanishes suddenly from their lives. Years later, Matilda returns from studying in Paris to tell Bram the news that she has seen Ellen, and that the nightmare they've thought long ended is only beginning. It's described as a riveting novel of gothic suspense. Dracula reveals not only Dracula's true origin, but Bram Stoker's and the tale of an enigmatic woman who connected them. So that sounds really cool. There's the great-grandnephew there, and then J.D. Barker right there. So bit chunker, but that sounds interesting. Again, Bram Stoker is a character within the book, so that's pretty cool. On a little lighter note, I picked up another Flintstones comic that happened to come my way. If you've seen my channel, some of my episodes before, I've kind of collect these old Flintstones comics, as this is one of my favorite comics, so happy to come across that. One book I don't think I'll be getting to anytime soon. I kind of picked it up just because it was available. It's in good shape. Probably will eventually read it, but reading into it, I don't know. It's not really my favorite topic, but it is a classic. It's the Charles Dickens Bleak House, one of these Penguin black spine editions. Really, really great condition. There are some like spot illustrations throughout the book, like that. And it's basically described as kind of a scathing critique of the law system during the days of when this is written. I'm not really into law drama and things like that, but we'll see. It says it's peppered with lots of other characters and subplots and all that. Maybe they'll find the subplots more interesting. I don't know. But that seems to be what the main thing is, about a inheritance gradually being devoured by legal costs. This says someone whose parentage is a source of deepening mystery, a menacing lawyer, etc., etc. Lots of law drama kind of stuff. And I don't know how that's going to interest me or not. There's other classics I kind of want to get to, probably way before this one, so it'll be some time before I get to it. But like I said, it was in such a great shape, and I've enjoyed Dickens before, at least the two major huge novels that I've read and the short stories. But yeah, no hurry for that one. On a much lighter note, some time ago I had picked up a Star Trek classic novel, The Price of the Phoenix. This is by Sandra Marshak and Myrna Culbreth, and I'd read this quite some time ago. It's first part of a two-part series, and for life of me, I could never get part 2 until finally it showed up. This is The Fate of the Phoenix. Just one of my favorites. I used to read a whole bunch of these classic, or actually even any of the Star Trek novels when they came out, particularly the classic series, I would say, with the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy storylines. But it'd been some time. I no longer have any of those books in stock. And then when I saw that, I kind of wanted to reread this one because I remember this is one of my favorites. So I was really happy to finally get across this one. It's described as Captain Kirk is dead. Long live Captain Kirk. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and other crew members of the Starship Enterprise experience a stunning double shock. The first painful blow is Captain Kirk's tragic death. Then Captain Kirk's miraculous rebirth reveals the most awesome force the Enterprise has ever encountered. Spock is forced into a desperate gamble for Kirk's human soul against Omni, the ultra-human emperor of life beyond life and death beyond hell. So, yeah, very formidable foe there, and just a really great storyline. If you can ever track these two down, I definitely recommend those. Moving on, I've got a couple sequels or prequels, as it were. A while back, I picked up, right behind me here, forgot to grab that. I picked up House of Secrets by Darcy Coates, not realizing it was actually the sequel to House of Shadows, which I now have. So I didn't really go into too much of the details of what this is about, but I think it's just 2 parts to this. So part 1 is Sophie's world is shattered when disaster bankrupts her family. She's still reeling when she's offered an unexpected solution. Mr. Argenton, a wealthy stranger, has asked for her hand in marriage. Marrying Mr. Argenton will save her family, but it condemns Sophie to a life in Northwood, a vast and unnaturally dark mansion situated hours from civilization. Still, she has no choice but to accept the offer and hope the darkness won't swallow her whole. It's a struggle to adjust to her new position as mistress over the desolate house. Mr. Argenton's relatives are cold, and the manor is more than it seems. Doors slam and human figures slink through the surrounding forest. A piano plays itself in the middle of the night. Blood drips a macabre warning down the walls. Day by day, Sophie is inevitably pulled toward the terrifying truth. Northwood's ancient halls are haunted, and the man she married, the man she's coming to love, is hiding an unforgivable truth about his ancestral home and the spirits that now haunt them both. So I've read quite a few Darcy Coates novels. I'm in the middle of reading one now, which I'll talk about at a later date. But yeah, she's just excellent horror, ghost, paranormal kind of writer. And the next one is a sequel to one I've actually already read by her. I'd read some time ago The Whispering Dead, and now this is The Ravenous Dead. It's been a while since I read that, so I'm going to have to revisit. I'm going to have to revisit the first book. Kira's the main character. She was a groundskeeper at Blightley Graveyard. Really great settings, basically. And I think she starts to like see the undead and unravel a mystery. But I'll have to revisit my thoughts on that book or actually reread it again, because it has been a while. And at the time, I didn't realize that there was a sequel to it, and I think I remember saying that it felt unfinished, and then I realized, oh duh, it was book 1. So yeah, this is just another Darcy Coates one I'm looking forward to get to. And yet a third one. This one's a little bigger. This one, a little chunkier. It's called Parasite. Real interesting cover. It says, they are closer than you think. When a guard discovers an unusual life form on her remote moon outpost, she disregards protocol and investigates with catastrophic consequences. The parasitic alien wears its victims' skins and adopts their personalities. It mimics the way they talk, the way they look, the way they act. It's the perfect disguise. And by the time humanity realizes it's facing extinction, it's already too late. As the aliens' ruthless progress collapses communication networks, wipes out defenses, and leaves hundreds of stations to fend for themselves, a handful of remarkable individuals must find a way to battle the greatest threat the universe has ever encountered, or die trying. So a little bit of a twist. It says it's horror fiction, but it has a definite science fiction twist to it. So that'll be a nice little change of pace as opposed to the general haunted house novels that she writes. One more semi-horror book that I have, but apparently with a bit of a humorous twist. This is Grady Hendrix's The Final Girl Support Group. And it sounds pretty fun. I've read 2 books by him before. It doesn't mention the one that I had read though, because I can't remember the title. Yeah, it's not listed back here. Oh, My Best Friend's Exorcism. That was pretty good, but yeah, I don't see the other one that I had read before. But anyway, I'll read the back of it for you. It's a fairly skinny one. It says, from chainsaws to summer camp slayers, Grady Hendrix's fast-paced and wickedly humorous thriller, The Final Girl Support Group, pays tribute to and slightly subverts our most popular horror films, movies like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream. Lynette Tarkington, is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapists in a support group for those who endured the unthinkable, working to put their lives back together. Then one woman misses a meeting, and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to rip their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about Final Girls is that no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never, ever give up. So there's even like blood on the back of the book. But yeah, he's a bit of a humorous twist in it, I guess. It's equal parts thrilling and darkly funny. It does sound pretty dark. There's a couple like other little images and things throughout the book. Yeah, little text and notes and things like that. So anyway, that sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to getting into another Grady Hendrix book. Then I have my first nonfiction book. I only read like 1 nonfiction book last year, and it was really just a picture book about dogs and quotes. So this will be a little bit different. This is a show I've been following on TV. My dad and I both kind of followed it. I'm still waiting for them to dig up something, but I just find it fascinating. I don't know why, but it's the Curse of Oak Island, the story of the world's longest treasure hunt by Randall Sullivan. It's on the History Channel, and I don't know how many seasons they've been in, but yeah, this is the history of the island. Apparently treasure that's buried there. It's been being researched since like the 1795, when the alleged year that the money pit was discovered. But if you haven't, definitely check out the show. It's just really intriguing. Like they're trying to find tunnels and leading to where they suppose the money pit might be. There's flooded tunnels, there's traps. Even like Franklin Delano Roosevelt was photographed at one point as part of the people that were, searching for it. But yeah, it's really interesting. Let's see if I can read some of the description here. It says, in 1795, a group of teenagers discovered a mysterious circular depression in the ground on Oak Island, a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, and sparked rumors of buried treasure. They excavated a clay-lined shaft full of soil, interspersed with wood, but when they reached a depth of 80 feet, water poured into the shaft and made further digging impossible. Since then, the mystery of the Oak Island's money pit has enthralled generations of treasure hunters, including a young Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Swaths of the island have been bulldozed, looking for answers, and excavation attempts have claimed at least 4 lives. Theories abound as to what's hidden on Oak Island. Pirates' treasure, Marie Antoinette's lost jewels, the Holy Grail, proof that Sir Francis Bacon was the true author of Shakespeare's plays, Yet to this day, the money pit remains an enigma. Randall Sullivan's The Curse of Oak Island is a fascinating account of strange, rich history of the island and the intrepid treasure hunters who have driven themselves to financial ruin, psychotic breakdowns, and even death in pursuit of answers. Now, as Michigan brothers Marty and Rick Lagina become the latest to attempt to solve the mystery, as documented on History's television show, The Curse of Oak Island, Randall Sullivan takes readers along to follow their quest firsthand. And there's all sorts of photos. There's Rick and Marty Lagina, the two brothers, and there's a lot of photos of the various things they've pulled out. Nothing of any substantial value, but lots of things that of historical value, I guess, dating different times and carbon dating, and yeah, in fact, there's Roosevelt right there in the photo. But I know, I just find it fascinating, the whole treasure hunt thing. And then there's also another show that comes on after that. Sometimes it's Beyond Oak Island, where they look into other people's treasure hunts and stuff and kind of join in and get the history of it. And it's just basically a lot of history that I just find interesting. And then the final book I have is another classic, and this is just a beautiful edition. I wish I could find more editions like this, but sadly I don't think the store works anymore. It's a Borders classic, and this is the Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. Just a really beautiful, I don't know if it ever was supposed to have a cover. I kind of doubt it, since that is underneath. It has a inserted book tab, and it's green staining all around. Beautiful, just end papers. And just a really wonderful edition. It's illustrated as well. And I've never read The Three Musketeers. I have read Count of Monte Cristo, so I have read some Dumas, but never this one. And so that'll be a nice maybe classic for the year, a nice big chunky summer read that I hope to get to. But I couldn't pass it up. It's just such a beautiful edition. It looks like it wasn't even read. So yeah, would love to get like a nice little set of these in various titles, but I've tried searching them out. I haven't seen anything else on these. But anyway, so that's my book haul for you. I could try to do a pyramid, but it will probably fail miserably. Let's see, Curse of Oak Island. I've got the Three Musketeers, Final Support Group by Grady Hendrix, a couple Darcy Coates sci-fi horror, a sequel, The Ravenous Dead, The House of Shadows, the first in a 2-book series. Now it's going to get awful. Some Dracula. And sequels to Dracula. Alright, this has got to go down. The pyramid has ended. Because this alone is a tome. So another Dickens, and then the sequel that I've been waiting for Star Trek. So yeah, that's my book haul. First of the year. I don't hope for many more because I have too much to read already. But keep your eyes open. I'm not making any promises. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you guys have read any of these, or if anything sounds interesting to you, let me know down below. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.